Welcome to datascience.show, the podcast where data science meets executive leadership. We talk with top AI and analytics thought leaders about turning data into real business impact. If you're a C-level leader or data expert shaping the future, you're in the right place.
They promised deploy in 2 weeks. 6 months later, the model was live, revenue hadn't moved, and legal had to explain decisions to regulators. That negotiation alone cost the company millions.
I'm Mirko Peters. We explore how data science and AI drive real business impact, straight from the leaders making it happen. Today, how to buy AI wisely so procurement becomes a strategic enabler, not an expensive surprise.
Quick scene to make this concrete. A large insurer adopted a vendor model with impressive accuracy numbers. 6 months in, 0 uplift in recoveries. 0. The vendor's metric moved. The business metric didn't. Remediation and regulatory response cost the company roughly $1.2 million in effort and fines.
That's the kind of gap we're fixing today. Here's the promise. By the end of this episode, you'll have a practical checklist, what to require in contracts, how to structure pilots so they prove business outcomes, and the governance habits that stop problems before they become crises.
Let's start with the tension that causes most of these failures. Procurement wants predictable pricing. Legal wants strict rights. Security locks down controls. Data science wants flexibility. The business owner wants results. These groups speak different languages. Your job is to translate the contract into operational reality.
When is vendor risk highest? When vendors handle sensitive data directly, when models influence regulated decisions, and when the capability is core and hard to replace. Those are the spots where procurement must be surgical, not ceremonial.
Now, practical playbook.
Start by defining outcomes, not features.
Ask, what moves revenue or reduces cost?
Tie payments to that business metric, not to raw accuracy numbers. Design a phased pilot that actually tests your KPI in production-like conditions.
Sandbox the integration first. Run a time-boxed A/B or backtest. Pre-register your evaluation criteria so there's no argument about success later.
If the vendor can't commit to a reproducible test under production-like data, don't scale. Period.
Insist on model and data audit rights. Ask for provenance of training data, decision logs, and enough model detail so a technical reviewer can explain outcomes.
If the vendor refuses, it's not a negotiation. It's a strategic misalignment.
No exceptions.
Say this in plain terms. Reproducibility means you can rerun the critical pieces. Either they hand over artifacts you can run, or they provide an environment that runs the same scoring so an independent expert can verify results.
On integration, specify data schemas, throughput SLAs, latency expectations, and error handling rules before signing. Who owns retraining? Who owns the rollback plan? Write it down.
Negotiate pricing to reflect risk and optionality. Start with a capped pilot fee, then move to success-based ramp. Tie a baseline support fee to availability, and link scale to milestone reviews. Include portability terms, explicit export formats, a short transitional support window, and model escrow or reproducibility artifacts so you can move if necessary.
A few negotiation levers that actually move the needle. Map SLAs to business metrics with clear thresholds. Specify test procedures for verification and include credits or penalties for missed business SLAs. For example, a 10 to 25% credit on monthly fees, depending on severity. Request third-party audit rights. If a neutral expert can validate claims, disputes resolve faster and trust increases for both parties. Frame audits as governance, not adversary work. Trade-offs are real. More auditability costs time and money up front. Faster time to market may require accepting some opacity temporarily, but only if you tie scale to milestone reviews and a clear exit plan.
Rule of thumb. Accept unknowns in early pilots, never in scaled production without contractual guardrails.
Leadership and governance. Create a cross-functional decision gate. Procurement, legal, security,
Data science and the business owner must all sign off. Appoint a single accountable executive to close decisions. Diffusion of responsibility is where projects stall.
Always.
Measure vendor success against business outcomes, not vanity metrics. If revenue or cost doesn't move, you've bought complexity, not value.
Culture matters. Treat vendors as partners. Keep professional skepticism. Rotate sign-offs so the same few voices don't rubber stamp every decision, and require documentation for reproducibility and change management.
Institutionalize the patterns that survive technology changes. Standardized AI procurement templates, an approved vendor catalog with known audit and portability terms, and a procurement checklist that follows every deal.
Prepare for increased regulatory scrutiny. Build traceability, logging, and explainability into contracts now instead of retrofitting controls under pressure later. Practical next steps for the next 12 to 24 months. Train procurement and legal on what reproducibility means technically. Require a lightweight reproducibility test for pilots, and make portability and escrow standard when decision logic or sensitive data is involved. 2 immediate checklist items to take to your next vendor conversation. Include an SLA that ties to a business metric, and add explicit audit and reproducibility clauses. Do that first.
Require a phased, measurable pilot that gates commercial scale. Do not pay for production scale until the pilot proves the business metric.
Final reflection. Vendors will remain essential. The difference between projects that fail and initiatives that scale is not clever modeling. It's the discipline you bring to buying, contracting, and operating that capability.
That's the difference between models and value.
If you found this episode valuable, subscribe and share it with your network. And let's connect on LinkedIn. I'm Mirko Peters. We'll be back with more conversations on how data science and AI create real business impact. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to datascience.show. If you found value in this episode, subscribe, share it with your network, and join us next time as we explore how data science drives smarter decisions and better business outcomes.